Welcome back to part 2, continued for the review for 7.8, and this is just finishing up the story problem. So as you can see, I just listed out all the factors off camera just to speed it up. You can do it on your calculator. It might be a lot of work, but honestly, I was off camera for maybe a minute, and I used the calculator to check all the way through, and all you really had to check was up to 20. So 20 numbers is a lot to check, but it doesn't take more than a minute to do. Now, here's the real hard part of it. I need the two factors that combine to make my middle term of 17. No way, no way, no way, no way, no way, no way, no way. Still 38 really far. Getting closer, 15 and 32. So I know between 15 and 32, I can end up with a positive 17. The way to get that is to have a positive 32x and a negative 15x. And that works because since this was negative, I know I needed one positive, one negative. Now we just factor up, factor out. Factor up, 3x squared. Factor up, this is a little bit harder. So let's see if we have any factors. Is 32 a factor? Yep. 32, well, is 32 a factor of 160? And it will not work. Oh, it does work. So I can pull 32 out of both. So I will pull out plus 32. Now when I factor out, the factor of both of these is 3x, does not work. So the factor of both of these is just x. Factor here, I know it's going to be negative because this box is negative. And check the big number. We're assuming it's going to be a 5, but let's just double check. 160 divided by 16, 160 divided by 15 doesn't work. So the GCF I'm looking for here ends up being actually negative 5. So I can check my box. This times this, 3x squared. X times 32, 32x. 3x squared times negative 5, negative 15. 32 times negative 5, 160. Now I have this in factored form. 0 equals 3. Excuse me, I should not have pulled an x squared out of there. Tempted to redo this video. 3x plus 32 times x minus 5. Now I need to go through and solve both of these for 0. So you have two equations. 3x plus 32 equals 0, and x minus 5 equals 0. Minus 32. I'm at 3x equals negative 32. I will divide both sides by 3, but when I look at this, my answer will be a negative answer. So no matter what it is, and we can do it on the calculator, 32, negative 32 divided by 3, negative 10.6 repeating. We have an issue with this, though. Since x is going to represent a side length, I won't be able to plug a negative into either one of these and still end up with a positive answer. So when I come here, I add 5. X equals 5. This one will work. The dimensions of the park are not 5 and negative 10.6. The dimension for x is 5. So I have to go all the way back up here and plug that in. So the length was 3x plus 5. So the length is 3 times 5 plus 5. The length is 3 times 5 is 15 plus 5. The length is 20. The width was 2x plus 8. So 2 times 5 plus 8. 2 times 5 is 10. So the width is 18. Now, while this seemed like a really hard problem, the hardest part of this problem was the factoring here, which is negated if you learned how to solve this by using graphs. All you had to do was go, and on story problems, it's perfectly fine. I don't need to see all your work. If you get to this point right here, you moved everything, you're right here. All you have to do is put this on Desmos, and your two intercepts, your two x-intercepts are your solutions. So you would have gotten to these two answers by intercepts and then just plugged them in. That concludes 7.6.